The Call of Duty Warzone Season 6 patch notes just dropped, so let's go through them together. And there is an absolute ton of weapon changes today, so buckle in, you know what I mean? This is my brand new channel here, so be sure to subscribe. So we are getting ready for the haunting. The haunting doesn't start actually until October 17th. And there's really not that much going on in the game or this update outside of like balancing and stuff, and a few other things that we'll point out. But the haunting is coming. The main thing with this update seems to be the battle pass, and the battle pass is actually pretty dang good. I haven't been able to say that in a very long time, I feel, but this is fire. So then you also have the Black Cell, which is their new premium battle pass. With this new Valeria skin, which is pretty cool too. So I'm excited to see what that looks like in game. But we're gonna just kind of go past that stuff. We get some new operators. The spawn skin looks amazing. I'm super excited for Lilith. I'm a big Diablo fan, so I'm excited for that. The Ash bundle looks sick. I don't really know anything about this guy, but he looks awesome as well. Skeletor, that's sick too. So here we go. Preparing for the haunting, coming to Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone on October 17th. So we will have an all new zombies mode. I believe there's 3 main modes in the haunting this year, which is really cool. So in this update available now, we have 3 new weapons, all available in the battle pass. This is looking kind of like a Ram 7 from Warzone 1. I think a little bit different, but looks pretty cool. The TR-76 Geist, it's called. Then we have our third ISO of the game, the ISO 9mm SMG. We'll have to see what that looks like. It looks like a pretty compact SMG, so maybe the mobility is really, really good, which would be sick. Then we have the dual commas melee weapon. Any dual melee weapon is generally pretty great in terms of melee weapons. And these look like little scythes, so I like them. I like them a lot. All right, this is really interesting. This is a brand new attachment for the Lockwood 300. I think they added this for the Doom bundle, and the reason I say that is it is a trigger attachment, and it essentially allows you to fire both of your shots at one time. I don't know if this is going to one tap people or what it's going to be, but it sounds insane. So we're going to test that out. We do stream Warzone 2 nights a week on every platform. So if you're on YouTube, you can watch on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, wherever you want to watch it, we will be live. Then getting into all of this weapon balancing. Now, there's a lot of Modern Warfare 2 stuff, and I'm just going to scroll through this. And if you are interested in multiplayer changes, you can pause and read these. But we're mainly a Warzone channel here. There's a few little changes here that are not really going to affect you all that much, that carry over to Warzone. Now, for Warzone only stuff, this is the big stuff. We got the Chimera getting a little bit of a buff. The FR Advancer, the FFAR, got a buff, and that's actually pretty good. Both of these are really good sniper supports. So seeing them getting a little bit more love is probably good. The SMGs just kind of beat them out, especially on like Vondel. The ISO Hemlock getting a little bit of a nerf. I don't know if it really needed that. It was pretty solid, but not like overpowered. The Kastov 762, which was one of my favorite weapons, got a pretty significant nerf, it looks like. Now, when they do these big nerfs, I don't really generally think that they nerf it into the ground initially. So the 762 is probably going to be usable still. The M13B, which was my favorite, got a nerf, so we'll have to see what that feels like. I felt like the M13 and the Tempest Razorback were both very close in terms of like power. So I think if the M13 gets hit, Tempest Razorback gets right in that spot. Super easy to use as well. The M13C got a little bit of a buff, close range. This thing is actually pretty good. It just feels weird to me. So try that out if you're interested. The M16 got a buff. I wonder if this is going to be usable. Burst is just tough for me. The Cronin Squall got nerfed again. The FTAC Recon got a nice little buff. The Lockman 762 got buffed. Now, this is also interesting because the Lockman 762 technically is like the fastest close range time to kill. And it just got better. So that's a little bit crazy. So we're gonna have to check that out. It's kind of hard to use, but it is really, really powerful. The SO14 got a little bit of a buff. That meta for a second was kind of gross DMR stuff, but maybe it's back. TAC V got a little bit of a buff to close range, so that's interesting. I like the TAC V a lot. The Basilisk, we got a lot of handgun buffs here. The Basilisk got buffed. FTAC Siege got nerfed. Excuse me. The GS Magna also got nerfed. The P890 got a buff. The X12 got a buff. The 9mm Damon got nerfed. I don't know why. I don't think I've ever even touched this. The Deagle also got a buff. Now we're getting into shotguns, and a little scary if you don't like shotguns, I think. The Bryson 800 got a buff. The 890, though, got a nerf. The Lockwood 300 got a buff, and this is the one that is getting that new attachment, I think, for the Doom bundle, which is really, really sick. I think on my main channel, I think we're going to make a couple of those Doom weapons in real life, so be sure to sub over there if you haven't. The MX Guardian getting also a pretty significant buff across the board. This is a scary one. Auto shotguns are never fun. The Karak 300 auto or semi-auto sniper got a little bit of a buff. The Signal 50 got a nerf, probably needed it. The SPX 80 got a buff. Now we're getting into SMGs. This is also super interesting because the Bass P, which has been buffed in like every update for the last 5 or 6 updates, got another buff. The Bass P has got to be close to the top now, right? Like it was already like kind of getting there. It was pretty good. Now you have a little bit more multiplier action basically in these random little spots that is just going to make it feel really consistent, I feel. So that's actually really interesting. The Fennec got some love finally. It got mostly a buff, but it did get a nerf in a couple of spots, but a little bit better. I still don't think the Fennec is worth it though. The Lockman Shroud got a semi-auto damage decrease, which is semi-auto damage was like insanely fast time to kill, but so hard to use and so inconsistent because you have to fire the trigger. But it did get a buff to burst fire. So maybe, I don't know. I think it's because it's burst, it's going to be really, really unforgiving, but maybe worth a shot. The mini back got a little bit of love. This thing needs a whole lot more love than this. And the MX9. The MX9 got a buff, and the MX9 has insane damage. The only thing holding the MX9 back from being in the meta, in my opinion, is the mag. It doesn't have enough ammo outside of like duos and solos, but the MX9 is really, really good. So maybe worth a shot. So there you go. There's some bug fixes here. The final prestige is 1250. A whole bunch of bug fixes, and you can pause and read them if you would like. It also states here that this download size for the Season 6 update is larger than normal because it has a lot of the haunting stuff in it, and it also has Modern Warfare 3 beta stuff. So we will be going into COD next, and we'll be uploading that footage on this channel. So be sure to check that out next week, October 5th. Some Spec Ops bug fixes, multiplayer. I'm gonna just kind of gloss over this. We got a bunch of new maps, which is really cool to see. But if I'm being completely honest, I'm pretty over the multiplayer in this game. And yeah, so we got Modern Warfare 2 ranked play. You can pause again and see that. The rewards for the final season of this game for ranked, we have Warzone. You're getting a Signal 50 blueprint. For Modern Warfare 2, you get an SPX 80 blueprint. There's some pretty cool camos and, you know, the usual stuff. Now, if we go on down, here is some more Warzone information. Now, the playlist has been a big issue for recent memory, but this week we do have a pretty good playlist. We've got ranked, obviously, all Mazra quads, Vondel duos for Battle Royale, and a solo map rotation. That's actually not bad. I think most people will be happy about the solo map rotation for BR. Then we have for Resurgence, Vondel quads, thank God. And then map rotation for solos, duos, and trios. Armored Royale on Al Mazrah. And Plunder makes its return. I don't think we've had Plunder for a minute. So that is now back. Now, we got new Champions Quest rewards on Al Mazrah. A new AR blueprint. So we'll have to see what that is. A couple of quality of life things. And some more bug fixes. Now, Warzone rank play is getting some changes as well. And if you are interested in rank play, you can kind of read through this. I'm not a big rank play guy. I play it a little bit, but I like the Resurgence. I like the casualness of Resurgence. And then we move on to DMZ, and there's a few big changes here. We will be getting a night mode, which I'm very, very excited to see what that is all about for the haunting. Again, that's on the 17th of October. But the big changes here is the buy station prices. They've pretty much nuked PvP. And I think that's to get ready for zombies. Because zombies, I believe, will take over DMZ. Could be wrong. But I think that's kind of what they're hinting at, because it's a similar thing, just minus the PvP. Now, muni boxes go from 1,000 to 5,000. Gas mask from 2,000 to 3,500. That's not too bad. All of the backpacks, large backpack went from 30K to 50K. 3-plate carriers went from 35 to 65. We got these airdrops going from 18,000 to 75,000. A UAV goes from $12,000 to $100,000. That's crazy. And then the advanced UAV is from $12,000 to $200,000. So they're just like, to me, that's just saying, listen, no more PvP. PAs from 12,000 to 30. Clusters from 12,000 to 30. And then the revived pistol from 7,500 to 10,000. And then it says players can now use their own dog tags to barter in DMZ. Hostages can no longer be dropped on dirt bikes. And a few other things here. There's also a bunch of bug fixes. Now, that's not a lot of new content. I believe it's pretty much the end, right? Modern Warfare 2 is pretty much over, and they've kind of just mopping it up. But we have a ton of stuff coming for the haunting, and I'm super, super excited about that. I love the haunting modes. They're my absolute favorite thing Warzone has ever done. So hopefully this year's is just as good, if not better. The battle pass is really good, so we got that. But I'm excited to try out some new weapons. Yeah, get ready for Modern Warfare 3. Again, we will be at COD Next, streaming it live, all the platforms. Just look for Wash Your Hands. And we'll see you then, guys. Welcome to the new channel. We'll see you in the next one.